What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to talk about AMC, GME, as well as the broader market. So AMC was surprisingly down for 5.43% for the day. It had a high of $13.15. The average volume on AMC is around 48.35 million, but today's volume was definitely higher than the regular volume that comes in AMC. It was around 55.54 million. Now, as we know, yesterday we had a beat in the earnings of AMC and it was immediately up almost 4 to 5% in the aftermarket. Even in the pre-market today, it was up around 5% and almost everything was down. AMC was doing very well, but as we know, this stock is very carefully watched by all these market makers because they are shorting this stock way too much. They want AMC to go bankrupt and they're trying the level base to push this stock as low as they can. But the kind of numbers AMC is bringing up in their balance sheet, this is something which is completely inevitable. AMC will skyrocket to moon sometime, maybe not soon, but it will for sure. But the kind of manipulation we can see in the market, it is just unbelievable. And we just have no words to explain what is going on over here right now. Even after a beat in the earnings, the stock still went down 5% for the day. Now let's come over to the GameStop. GameStop was down for again 5.35% for the day. It had a high of $106.06. The average volume on GameStop is around 4.18 million, but today's volume was around 4.15 million. So as we can see over here very clearly, every time there is a good amount of volume that comes in AMC, so does it comes in GME as well. The volume in GME was coming around 1.5 to 1.7 million dollar on a regular basis. It's just that AMC had a pretty good earnings yesterday and we were expecting a lot of volume coming in AMC today. The same thing happened with the GME. Now as we know, if the AMC goes up, GME is definitely going to go up along with it, but these market makers are trying their level best to keep these stock prices as low as they can. Now let's come over to the SPY. The SPY was up for 0.23% for the day. It had a high of $406.08. Now as we know, the CPI number is about to be released tomorrow morning, and if the CPI number, the consumer price index, comes a slight bit lower than what we are expecting, I am telling you, we're gonna have a very aggressive upward momentum coming into the stock market. This is gonna be the bear market bounce that we're gonna experience. But if the consumer price index comes a slight bit higher or at the same what it is, we might experience a little bit more further downtrend. But what we are expecting, it will be slight bit lower than what it was previously. And if that happens, we are definitely going into the upside for the SPY. Now let's have a look at the options flow for the AMC. Now I've increased the premium to max and I can see very clearly individuals are buying an $85 put option. It's going to expire in 618 days and he's paying $1.95 million for it, and he's buying 263 contracts for it. When I bring down the premium and see what exactly the retail is doing, majority of the retail are onto the downside and it's very surprising. A lot of individuals are buying leap option onto AMC and they are all betting it will just keep going down from here onwards. I personally believe these retailers, they are expecting the AMC to go back to $2. I mean, it's very hard to imagine if that can happen, but I can make it very clear to you that short squeeze can happen anytime. It might not be going to those numbers which has been out there in the social media, but it can definitely have some sort of a squeeze coming in. We don't know when that's going to happen. When I bring down the premium a little bit more further down, and I can see exactly the smaller retail, they are also onto the downside, but few of them are still betting a call option and they are expecting that the AMC will go up from here onwards. Now if we have good news coming towards the consumer price index tomorrow, I'm expecting AMC and GME can have a pretty big upward momentum coming into both of these stocks. AMC is extremely oversold right now, and the kind of earnings, the kind of balance sheet AMC is showing up right now, the price $11.70 doesn't make any sense. It should be around at least 25 to 30 bucks, but definitely we are in a bear market. We can't expect much, but I'm pretty sure we might expect a upward momentum into AMC as well as GME if the consumer price index tomorrow is a little bit lower than what we were expecting. Now let's come over to the options for the GME. Now I've increased the premium to max and see what exactly the large whales are doing. Majority of them are onto the downside and they are expecting that the GME will keep going further down from here onwards. Now when I bring down the premium a little bit and see what exactly the retail is doing, majority of the retail is onto the downside. That's very surprising because usually what happens in GME, majority of the retail is onto the upside. I'm not saying there are no call buyers. There are a lot of call buyers who are expecting that the GME might go up. Now, I personally believe it just comes down to the CPI. number that's going to be released tomorrow, because it's going to have a huge impact onto the overall broader market. If the overall broader market goes up, so does the AMC as well as GME. But we still have to wait and see what is going to be the CPI number for tomorrow and what kind of a volume that's going to be coming in GME and AMC. When we look at the today's volume in AMC and GME, definitely the volume was pretty strong. And if the CPI number is good for tomorrow, I'm pretty much expecting there is a huge amount of volume that's going to come in GME as well as AMC. Now let's have a look at the options flow for the SPY. Now I have increased the premium to max and see exactly what the large whales are doing. There was this $385 put option that came in. It is pretty suspicious. This individual is buying $37 million worth of put options on the SPY, and he's buying 16,889 contracts. That's a lot of contracts this individual is buying, and the put option that he's buying, $385 strike price, is out of the money right now, but he's expecting that the SPY will keep going down. So this individual might have some sort of information regarding CPI number, but this is a big red flag that I can tell you for sure that this individual is betting this much amount of money, $37 million, and he's buying almost over 15,000 contracts and betting that the SPY will go down. It doesn't seem to be good for the overall broader market. Now when I bring down the premium and see what exactly the mini whales are doing, now the call option that came in right at the market close, definitely it's suspicious. These individuals are betting that the SPY will keep going up from here onwards, and he's buying a out of the money $405 call that's going to expire in 9 days, and he's paying $2.41 million for it, and he's buying 4,000 contracts that's going to expire in 9 days. So that means this individual is extremely bullish, and he's very confident that the tomorrow's CPI number is going to be lower than what's expected, and then we might have a upward momentum coming into the overall bottom market. The most suspicious thing about this trade is that it just came at the right of the market close, but it's not 100% confirmation regarding anything, because anything can happen in the stock market. Now when we look at the other options flow, there was this put option as well. These are 5,600 contract. He's paying $4.9 million. This trade is coming from the flow, and this was his $335 put option. It's going to expire in 128 days. That's a lot of downtrend this individual is expecting. I'm pretty sure it can happen. It's not a big deal in this kind of a market. It can go down to those level. When I talk in terms of my personal position in the stock, I'm 100% cash. I'm just doing some options, but I'm not buying any stock right now, because I personally believe the kind of downtrend that we're going to keep experiencing is going to go down for at least another 1 or 2 years to stabilize before we see any kind of a upward momentum. The kind of tightening the Fed is doing regarding the interest rate, we have never experienced that kind of a tightening in last 10 years, and in last 10 years we had a pretty solid good bull run. So you can imagine the kind of downtrend that we can experience maybe for another 10 years. You never know. I'm going to wait out at least for a year or two before buying any stocks into the stock market. Even the index funds are pretty expensive right now. But by looking at the options flow, I can tell you very clearly there were a lot of suspicious bets that were coming in, and they were betting that the SPY will go down from here onwards. Now when I look at the chart to put to call ratio, you can see it yourself. It's 82.4% on the put side and 17.6% onto the call side. The premium is extremely heavy onto the downside, and the volume on put was 89.3%. It's just 10.7% on the call side, which is not at all a good indication for the overall broader market. But let's see how this is going to play out tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be very crucial. It's going to be a very important day for the overall broader market. If the CPI number is a slight bit lower than what it was expected, then we are going to have a super green day. We might go into a semi sort of a bull run just for a week or two. Hope so you like my video. Please like and subscribe my channel. I'm going to see you in the next one. Cheers.